Thank you. Welcome. Let's talk sports, y'all. What's up, Boxing the DC? Those that's tapping in, either on Twitter, Facebook Live, or YouTube Live. We got us a real topic. And actually, I'm going to put the link in the comment section for those who want to tap in, because I believe this is I'm going to take my time on this one. No excitement, no jumping around, because this is not I believe it's a serious issue or a serious topic, you know what I mean? Because this is something that's kind of going to shape a lot of things in the sport of boxing. We're going to address the racial bias lawsuit that Terrence Bud Crawford now has on his former promoter, Mr. Bob Arum himself. Also, the rumors of possibility he's going to bypass 147 now and go up to 154, which, you know, we'll get into all of that. It's a lot to get into. For those that coming in here, for those that's coming in here now, please, you know, in the comment section, tell me what your thoughts on it. You know what I mean? This is a lot to chew on right now. So that's why I'm gonna take my time, make sure we touch this subject the right way. We're gonna touch all the things that's going on. Shout out to brother Mark in the Boxing the DC group. He actually put the actual all the specifics of the well, we're not gonna put our business in the street, but he put a lot of the specifics of what's going on in the lawsuit out there, man. So we got the resident journalist of the Boxing the DC group on it. So now it's time to tap into it, man. Now, as we all know, Terrence Bud Crawford hey, what's going on? I think it's an interesting suit, but I think it gets reduced. What's up, Brandon? I'm going to put the link in the comment section in a second, though. Matter of fact, you know what? I'm going to put the link in the comment section right now. I definitely want to hear your input on this. I definitely want to hear your input on this one, man. This is going to be interesting. We're not going to agree on this one at all, but I just want to hear what you got to say. I'm putting the link in the comment section right now, man, because I'm going to take my time, man. This is going to be a real interesting. This is going to be a real interesting turn of events. It's going to be interesting how this whole thing plays out and everything because it changes a lot. It changes a lot. Before I even get to some of the other stuff that we've been debating and arguing about. I'm not talking about me and you, Brandon. I'm just talking about boxing fans as a whole. We have really been going back and forth about this situation with this particular brother for a minute. There it is. The link is in the comment section. So here's my thing. Step one, the actual lawsuit. He's suing Bob Arum on the ground saying that his career will be his name in boxing, his career in boxing will be a lot different had Bob Arum not held him back, and he believed the reason why Bob Arum held him back had racial motivations behind it. Now, he's also saying that some of the fights that he wanted, of course, we all know he wanted Keith Thurman, he wanted Danny Garcia. Of course, we know he's wants Errol Spence. All the big fights at 147, the big money fights, that he's been asking for, he wasn't able to get. So he's now suing, saying that the premise, the cusp of why he's not getting those fights was because of racial issues. So Brandon, I'm dying to hear, because I know you're an insider, so I'm dying to know your thoughts on this particular topic. Just off the rip, what's the first thing that came to your mind when you heard about this lawsuit?
Hey, first and foremost, hey, good. Well, it's still morning where I'm at, so good morning to you, man. Kind of glad to be here. I'm glad you're talking about it. I think the first thing that came to my mind was the timing of it.
That too.
The second I guess to me, it's like, okay, you're not gonna get the Spence fight next. You're kind of sitting to see what's gonna happen next, and if you look at the lawsuit, it's online. The complaint only talks about the breach of contract. The introduction covers the racial stuff. So I think it's very interesting that he feels his career wasn't what it should have been based on race. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if race played a part in it. I'm sure race plays a part in it, but I don't know how he's gonna. I know he's not trying to show racial bias. He's just trying to show that they didn't fulfill their contractual obligations. But I think it will be interesting to see when he's interviewed about what personal racial things that he suffered. I look forward to hearing that come out, because he didn't really say, well, this is what he did to me because I was black. He kind of talks about the history of Top Rank, but not saying, look, Bob did this to me because I'm a black man. So I definitely want to hear more about that.
All right. I mean, okay, off the top, let's put something out there for everybody. What, first and foremost, do I believe he will win this lawsuit? Absolutely not. I don't think he has any chance whatsoever to win the lawsuit, because it's just too many loopholes. Because I already know the first thing that any judge is going to ask me, okay, if you was going through XYZ, then why did you resign? That's the first thing I know that's one of the first things he's going to say, because you didn't just sign with this man for one tour, you re-signed with him. See what I'm saying? So you was a free agent, could have went anywhere you want to, and you re-signed with him. That's one thing. Now, one question that I know a lot of people want to know is, do I feel Terrence Crawford is right? Yes. I absolutely believe that he's dead on. He's just not going to be able to prove it. What do you think about that?
I mean, that's more likely. I mean, I don't think this is a lawsuit that he'll win, because he's going to have to prove that what he's saying is correct. Arum doesn't have to prove anything. He has to prove that, look, anything that happened, it happened purely because of this. And, one defense that you could think of, and I think you listened to it yesterday when he said that, if you don't work with Bob Arum, he shelves you. And I don't know if it's because he was saying that because he was black, or because...
Say that. Repeat that one more time for me. If you don't work with Bob Arum, you what?
You remember there was something that was released yesterday saying that the people who kind of push back on Bob Arum, or who don't, I guess, just bow down to him. And you have to forgive me, I'm outside. But the people who kind of just don't bow down to him. They get shelved for 6 or 7 years. It was some kind of comment like that.
I mean,
I don't know if you read it.
I read bits and pieces of it because what I really was hot. What I was, for one, I was caught completely off guard. I did not see this coming. I don't think many of us did. It just, the time, like you said, the timing of it and everything just came out of left field. It was like, whoa, like who? What? He said what? He's saying what? And then the fact that he actually got lawyers and actually is filing a lawsuit. Like I said, do I believe Terrence Crawford is 100% accurate? Yes. Yes. Now, do I think Bob is like a straight racist? No, but I believe he had a racial bias against Terrence Crawford, and that did hold him back. Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm getting ahead of myself. It's a point I'm gonna make later on. The thing is this: you could clearly see the handling of Terrence Crawford was completely wrong. We got to remember, man, this guy was the pound for pound at one point in time fighter of the year, pound for pound, regarded as the pound for pound best fighter in all of boxing. Right? This is a 3-division world champion. He's easy to market. He's easy to sell. See what I'm saying? And I think what a lot of people got upset for these fights not getting made is, I guess they're saying on the other side, you're not selling him to us. And Bob knew that. And Bob knew that. And he probably knew that some of the phone calls that Bob said he was making, he wasn't making. You know what I mean? Like Bob's going around saying, yeah, I called Al yesterday about Errol. And he know he didn't call him. You know what I'm saying? So it's things like that. But I think one thing that like I said, I don't see Terrence proving it. I don't see him winning the lawsuit, but I do see him turning enough stuff up that the next time he steps in the ring, it's gonna be plenty of eyeballs on him. So it's not even if he don't win the lawsuit, he's definitely going to be in the public eye in a way he's never been before. What you think about that?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is probably the best promotion he's going to ever get because it made national news. It made boxing news. I mean, you're talking about it. It's all over Twitter. Every boxing chat group is talking about this. So he's now transcended boxing because, when it makes Yahoo, when Yahoo says, hey, we're going to talk about Terrence Crawford's lawsuit and racial bias, anybody who was on Yahoo, regardless of if they're a boxing fan, now knows who he is. So this is great marketing for him. So yes. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Next time he fights, he's going to be he's going to be bigger than he was because of this lawsuit. But I do also agree that I don't think he's going to win the lawsuit. He might. No. I don't know.
No.
It's going to be hard because the only thing he can really argue is breach of contract. Now, he can always say that they didn't try hard enough or that maybe they didn't do a perfect job, but he's going to have to show that, look, they didn't fulfill their contractual obligations. And that's where he's going to kind of get into murky water because he's going to have to say, well, look, like I think you talked about earlier, well, I re-signed with them. Why? If they're not doing a good job, why did you re-sign?
Like I said,
well, whatever reason he has, okay. But then the question is, if they weren't doing their job, why didn't you sue when you were with them? If you're not paying me or you're not doing your job, I'm going to first say, okay, I'm going to talk to my manager and say, my manager, talk to the promoter because they're not doing what we agreed they were going to do. But now if I allow you to do it, then it's kind of my fault for saying I'm going to allow you to screw me over. And then once it's all said and done, I'm going to sue you. So that's going to be also another question that he's going to have to answer.
Like I said, 2 things can be true, y'all. 2 things can be true. 2 things can be true out of this situation. One, is Terrence Crawford telling the absolute truth? I believe him. But at the same time, he's not going to be able to prove it because not only did you re-sign with him, you followed the contract to the door. You know what I mean? You was a model citizen up till it was time to leave. Up until you knew the last fight was signed and you was all about the rope, almost out the door with the Shawn Porter fight, you was a model citizen. Even when he was throwing shade at you, you was letting it ride. You know what I mean? So I get it. I believe he's telling the truth. And I'm going to make this statement right now. I believe Bob Arum was holding him back because he didn't want another Floyd.
I mean, that could be. I think the thing is, that could be the very reason why Arum did it. But like you said, it's going to be hard because you kind of have to show that that's why he did it,
Well, you're not going to be
for example,
Go
Yeah,
ahead.
like we all like, for example, and I mean, this is just pure spec. No, this is just us talking. I'm not making any accusations. But let's look at OJ, right? If
Who?
you're to the OJ Simpson, where it's like, okay, when we look at all the evidence, we kind of have a certain thought that was OJ guilty or not, but then we say the court found him innocent. So we kind of have a way of what we know. Hey, what we do know versus what you can prove in a court of law is not always going to be the same.
Right. Right. Like I said, man, you're dealing with somebody who's been in the sport of boxing for almost 70 years now. He's worked with countless other black fighters. Even got George Foreman defending him right now. George, I think you should have stayed out of it, George. George, I think you should have stayed out of this. I get it. This is somebody you supported and love and all that, but sometimes the way this thing is going with the racial issues in the world, sometimes it's best y'all just fall back. There's no need for you too old to be getting these type of attacks that you about to go through, but people gonna be calling you coon and then you don't need to go through that. Get out the way, George. Bob got enough people around him that he can fight this battle without you. That's one thing. But like I said, he's worked with, he got black fighters on his roster now. You know what I'm saying? He got black fighters on his roster now. It does not even, unless they all come behind Terrence and walk with him, you're not gonna win the case. But I'm glad you putting it out there. I'm glad you're doing what you got to do. I'm glad you took your best foot forward and say, I'm gonna take control of my career because like I said, if nothing else, this is a brilliant PR move. And I'm not saying he's doing it for that. I believe Terrence Crawford is one of them dudes that's sincere in everything he says. Everything he says and everything he does, I believe he really mean it, and that's what he really ought to do. So I'm not questioning that. But if nothing else, it's a brilliant PR move.
Oh yeah, it's if not nothing else, he can lose and he will be lauded he'll be lauded as someone who tried to stand up against Arum, and he can lose, and big dog eats little dog. But I think he's also going to face potential black backlash depending on how this is handled, because if he mentions anything about the problems that Mikey Garcia or De La Hoya had with him, it's going to be hard to prove that it was racially motivated, being that neither one of those guys are black. Because you can show there's a history of maybe Arum having certain practices that boxers don't like, but to say, well, look, I'm singled out because I'm black, it can, I guess ultimately it can make things a lot worse in the end, because race is such a sensitive topic nowadays. Race is not something you can just talk about. You got to be prepared to really go deep into it once you open your mouth on it.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, man. I'm gonna be 100% honest. I'm gonna set another live up for Instagram to see if see what they talking about on the gram. But look, I wouldn't be surprised if Floyd put him up to this. I wouldn't even surprise. I would not be the least bit surprised if Floyd is behind all of this. I would not. I would not. You know what I mean? Because I think because it's one of them plays where, okay, you might really believe this, and like I said, I'm not questioning Terrence Crawford intent in this at all. I believe he believes what he says. I believe he's one of those guys that stands on what he says. So I'm not questioning that. But like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if Floyd told him to push this button and go ahead, because the worst case scenario, like I said, the next time you step in that ring, it's gonna be eyes from all angles looking at you, because you're towing the line right now. You're towing the line right now. But like I said, do I believe this happened to him? Yes, I absolutely believe that this happened to him, because my question that I asked years and years, that I asked a few years back, because I'm just using this as an example. Terrence Crawford was out there winning championships in multiple divisions. He had won at 135. He completely undisputed at 140. So by then his name should be a household name. He had been voted fighter of the year during all this time. During this time, Tyson Fury wasn't even in the sport of boxing. Tyson Fury wasn't even in the sport of boxing at all. He was out, sideline, going through whatever he was going through. He came back, fought a couple of nothing fights. One of the fights he fought, you couldn't, if you didn't have a way of streaming, you couldn't even see the fight. You know what I mean? You had to have Periscope or something like this and rig up something to be able to see one of the fights he fought, right?
Hey, are you there? I think I lost you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me? Can you still hear me? Can you still hear me? Okay, I'm gonna keep it flowing. Like I said, Tyson Fury, whoever want to tap in, the link is in the comment section. But also, I have no problem with Tyson Fury. I'm just pointing out an example of which Terrence Crawford has a valid argument. Here's a guy that wasn't even in the sport. He fought 2 fights that a lot of people didn't even know about. He fought 1 fight with Deontay Wilder. This is the one he didn't even win. He fought 1 fight with Deontay Wilder. That fight went the distance. They ruled it a draw. When he got up off the mat, they walked him in the door to a huge contract with Top Rank and an ESPN 4 or 5 fight deal. The question on the floor will always be, and I will always ask, why didn't Terrence Crawford get that same kind of deal? I don't care if that Tyson Fury is a heavyweight. I don't care if Tyson Fury got a whole another country behind him. I want to know why did Tyson Fury get offered that great big deal that he got from Top Rank and ESPN, and Terrence Crawford that put all that work in and didn't get that offer? That's one of the things that I know he's gonna use as his to prove that it was some type of racial bias, because I want to know why did Tyson Fury get that deal that he didn't. Even if he didn't get the same deal Tyson Fury got, why couldn't he get some sort of deal like that? He never had no multi-deal like Tyson Fury got. Tyson Fury came there and he got the gauntlet. What'd you think?
Well, I think I lost my connection for a second, but I think we always got to take into perspective that boxing isn't like other sports where you get paid for your value. A lot of times a lot of fighters are overpaid, some are underpaid, some are given opportunities. I mean, if you look at it, the highest paid boxers in the last 30 years have been heavyweights. Floyd and Manny and Oscar were the exceptions, but most of them are heavyweights. I think in Terrence's case, and I don't know where he is clearly saying here's where they failed to live up to their contractual agreement, but I think that this is going to work good for him, win or lose, because I think what's going to happen is you're going to have a lot of sponsors now who want to prove to you that, look, we're not racist. So next time you fight, we're going to give you, $200,000 to wear our logo on your pants, because we want to prove that, hey, we're not racist. We're not racist. So take the $500,000, put our logo on, because we support, equality, which is going to work good in his favor. That's something that's going to be a great benefit for him. But I think, again, when I go back to whatever problems he had, I would like for his management to say, look, we negotiated the deal. We told him to sign it. We told him it was a good deal. We put our check marks on it. And if he feels like Top Rank was not doing their job, then I would like for them to explain why they didn't do their job. Because I could say maybe Bob Arum did these things, but your manager, your agent, or your advisor, their job is to protect you from being exploited. So then I want to know, well, if this is the case, why didn't you guys do something?
Okay, oh man, I need Jane to put this comment in this comment section. I'm gonna read it, but I want him to put it in the comment section, because I got a comment that I think is pretty interesting. All right, he says, come on, y'all. He said, first, as you know, I'm a big Bud fan. As to his lawsuit, however, we have to be made to believe that Arum, who has been actively promoting Black, white, Latino, Asian fighters and many nationalities for more than 50 years, has suddenly become racist. We will also have to believe that he will have a fighter signed for 10 years, intentionally lose money on him and keep paying them millions of dollars to him because he wants to live out a racist vision against his own financial interests. I rate Bud as the #1 fighter in boxing today, but let's be honest, assess that he doesn't draw as many fans as Canelo or Anthony Joshua. He's not a media star in the way Sugar Ray Leonard or Mike Tyson were. He's more like a Vladimir Klitschko, a fighter who everyone knows is great, but they're not thrilled to see him. Life's not fair. We can't all be TV stars. It's convenient to blame the promoter, but many fighters, include Ali, for more than 20 fights, and none have been sued for being racist. I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly, but here's my thing on that spin right there. It is your promoter's job to make you bigger than that, to make you bigger than who you are. Because even though, like I said, Only thing they had with Tyson Fury was that he fought Deontay Wilder and got up from being knocked down 2 times. That's all they had at the time. He had nothing else to go off of that when they gave him that mega deal from ESPN and Top Rank. They pretty much did a media tour with Tyson Fury. They had him on everything from WWE. Tyson Fury was everywhere. You could have did the same thing with Bud.
Well, I disagree on that. Because
come on.
Here's the thing. Everybody's not charismatic. Like the person said, some people are really good boxers. I mean, they are great fighters. They can't sell tickets because they just don't have that charisma. Like Muhammad Ali had that charisma. He was handsome. He could box well. He could speak and say things that got you interested in it. Tyson Fury was on wrestling, which, you know, WWE, and he has his ability to go on social media and say things that are funny, that are stupid, and grab attention. And I think Bud reminds me more like the Kawhi Leonard of boxing. People know he's really good, but he is not a media star. He's not somebody that if he goes on social media, he can do what Floyd Mayweather did when he goes on social media and posts, you know? And I think that's the thing with today's promotion is with social media and the fact that technology allows an individual to sell themselves nonstop, fans are not really going to look at Bob Arum to carry all the work like they used to, 20 years ago. So I think part of it does require the fighter to really have to figure out where can they get in and build their profile, because it just technology allows you to be able to do it a lot easier and people consume it that way. If Terrence Crawford had Don King, it'd be a different story because Don King was a personality. Don King would be in your face. Don King could make you care about a fighter because he could tell a great story. Whereas Bob Arum is really more of a business person. He's not as he's not as media charismatic as a Don King was.
Again, I'm gonna say this for those that just tapping in. Shout out to my man Demetrius, Troy, any of y'all in the box in the DC group. Please put your comments in the comment section. I definitely need your feedback on this one. But I'm gonna say this again. Once again, I'm gonna say this. I do not believe he can win this lawsuit because, like I said, due to all the countless people that Bob has worked with over the past. But here's my case. Here's my thing. He's not that hard of a fighter to promote, though. I get it. He's quiet. I get it. He's not like that. But just that little bit of stuff he did with jumping in the water, where you at, Errol, and all that. He listen. When you see somebody like that as accomplished as him, right, and he's exciting to watch because he knocks people out. People like knockouts. Knockouts sell, no question. Just as fast as what's the guy name that was coming up, and I'm not comparing him to Bud at all, but everybody was buzzing over Belanca because he was knocking people out. Well, Terence knocked people out. Terence knocked people out. You know what I mean? Hold up. Let me say, he said, if that's the case, the promoters have to take less from fighters. Then he said, Don King is trash. Look how he promoted Amir Ahman.
Well, I mean, Don King is, anybody will tell you that he may not be the best business person and he did not treat all his fighters necessarily the best and had the best professionalism, but he is, one of the 2 greatest promoters ever. Don King could make you care about a fight because he could sell it. And anybody can tell you right now, Don King made a lot of fighters rich and he made some fighters not so rich. But Don King you won't find a promoter who could put on 4 or 5 title fights in one night and make you spend your $50 30, 40 years ago like Don King could.
I'm telling people how to get to the live that's in the box in the DC group. Don King doesn't even throw shows. My man Talib was saying.
Well, no, not right now. But if Don King was still active, I mean, if Don King was as active as Bob Arum is, Terrence Crawford would be a bigger name because the one thing I can say about Don King, he knows how to market black fighters. You cannot deny that Don King did not market black fighters and make them big stars in boxing, especially in America.
What I'm saying is this, though. Some fighters are hard to promote. Now, I get it. The fighters that's not as outgoing and not doing all these things are hard to promote. I get that. But at the same time, this dude is not hard to promote because, like I said, he's He's a 3-division world champion, and he's knocking people out. People want to see knockouts. He wasn't that hard to promote. I'm gonna say this a couple times so people, when they come in here, I do believe Don King held him back because he didn't want another Floyd.
Bob Arum, you mean, not Don King. Bob Arum held him back.
Yeah.
Yeah, you said Don King. I was just saying you mean Bob.
My bad.
No.
Yeah, Bob Arum. I believe Bob Arum did hold that man back because he didn't want another Floyd. Arum messed up by keeping him in Omaha. Oh, there you go. There you go. Fro says, you know, Big Buck fan. Oh, yeah, that's the same thing we just read. But I'm glad you put it in here, man. I'm gonna leave that up there for a few folks to see. What up, James? If you want to tap in here, James, if you want to tap in, the link is in the comment section. But like I said, y'all.
But James, what James has is completely right. It's one of those things where maybe Bud feels that he was treated a certain way because of racism, but it's going to be hard to prove that in a business perspective.
He's never going to be able to. He's never going to win a lawsuit.
To prove that.
He's never going to win a lawsuit. I like I said, if I didn't know no better, I would think Floyd told him to do this. And because, like I said, because at the worst case scenario, like I said, even if he don't win the lawsuit, this is a brilliant PR move. Like I said, I do believe he held Bud back. I do believe he could have did a lot more. Regardless of what people say, Bud not being outgoing, this, that, and the third, I do believe, what he say? Boxers didn't, great boxers. I'm getting comments from different places, y'all. Great boxers didn't fear him, Holyfield and Lewis, but the rest of the fighters who caught up in Tyson's clipping did. You don't know. Oh man, I don't know. I'm getting comments from different sections. Like I say, listen. Here's the cake and caboodle though. Now this is another thing I need y'all to put to rest because it's something else he touched in this. He said the lawsuit is free promotion regardless. Exactly. So he do got to know now. He jumping in the Shark Tank. He is jumping in the Shark Tank. So it's going to be people that's going to come from him that he never imagined that would come at him, but they're going to come at him. You know what I mean? So like I say, I believe two things is true. One, I don't think he can win the lawsuit. Two, I do believe he was held back. We've been saying this since we've been going back and forth about this particular topic and particular fight. We all said we thought Bob Arum was holding him back. I think because people were like, well, they was able to work with Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury because the money was already there. The money was in the pot. They had already stewed that thing up and cooked it up by the time they got that Deontay Wilder fight back together. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that was. That's why it was so easy. And Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury made a huge bag. The bag.
Oh yeah, they made a huge amount of money, and you had two sides paying for that. This wasn't a. I mean,
we get that. But that easily could have been Bud Crawford and Errol. It easily could have been.
I think I don't disagree with you. It could have, but from what PBC said last week, they would have difficulty being able to pay for that fight because they think people would steal it illegally and other issues. So it could also be that, look, this was a fight where we blame Bob Arum for not working with PBC to make the fight. Bob Arum's gone, but now even PBC is saying, look, this is not an easy fight to make.
Hey, I love this question right here. He said, why would Arum holding back against his own financial interests? Beautiful question, James. And I tell everybody this, in every scenario, for any sport, no matter what it is, do not ever overlook the power of someone's agenda or the power of the male ego. And people say, what you talking about? Listen, let's think about this. Jerry Jones fired Jimmy Johnson after winning 2 Super Bowls. There was an owner who let Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson walk out of his facility because he wanted things a certain way. So don't ever. We have seen some of the most bonehead things happen in all the sports from some of the most powerful men. Chicago let Michael Jordan and Phil Jackson walk about their facility like it was no big deal, and they ain't smelled the championship since.
Well, I mean, but I think the difference is with boxing and football is that they're organized sports, whereas boxing not organized.
What I'm saying about that is the mentality of powerful men. The mentality of powerful men. You know what I'm saying? The mentality of powerful men, male ego and agenda will overrule your natural business sense sometimes. So for him to do it against his own financial interest is not a shock to me, is what I'm saying.
I wouldn't be. Here's what I would say. I would be surprised if Arum, who has been, as a top promoter this long, was letting his ego stop him from making more money, because Bud Crawford isn't he isn't a money maker in that sense like some fighters are, because the money you pay him and the opponent, you're not guaranteed to just make that back plus some. So I could understand James saying, look, it wouldn't benefit him to constantly lose money. But I think also we have to look at it as that boxing has gotten to a point where if you don't have enough people in your stable, it's hard to make these fights. I mean,
okay.
So I think it's one of those things where, big picture, maybe Top Rank could have done a better job. And I'm not saying that they couldn't have, but I also think it's one of those situations where you got to have to show that they should have and could have done a better job. And it kind of goes back to what you're saying with the lawsuit. How do you show that? Because you got to be able to say, look,
he's not going to win the lawsuit. We can get that out the way. He's not winning the lawsuit. Go ahead.
No, that's all I was going to say. Like I said, he's going to win a court of public opinion because he's the biggest story on social media right now when it comes to sports. Last night, the Nets blew out the Bulls. I didn't even know it because Terrence Crawford was trending all over Twitter.
Now, let me answer this for Bob. Now, James, I call you Bob, I'm sorry. James, I want everybody to think about this, though. The last time a fighter challenged Bob Arum on this very same issue, right? And got out of his contract and said the same thing, right? He was a 3-division world champion at the time, too. That fighter went on to become the biggest fighter in boxing history, and his name was Floyd Mayweather. Okay, no problem, Brandon. You know what I mean? So it's not Bob's first rodeo in this situation. It's not Bob's first rodeo. Everything that Terrence Crawford said, Floyd Mayweather said the exact same thing. See what I'm saying? And I think, like I said, he said, don't forget about Mikey Garcia. Aaron put him on the show. Yeah. So, like I said, this ain't the first time. This ain't, like I said, he's not gonna win a lawsuit, y'all. We can get that out of the way. He's not winning the lawsuit, but like I said, if nothing else, it'd be a brilliant PR move. You know what I mean? Let me address one more thing that's putting out there. I do not believe he's going up to 154 to bypass 147. I do not believe he's going through all of this just to bypass everything that's going to 147 and go up there to try to fight the winner of Castaño and Jamel. That just doesn't make sense. Because even if you do that, Terrence, you're still running into the same person, the same promoter, which is still PBC. So you can't leave the land of PBC to go to another land of PBC. That's not going to happen for those that's putting that room out there. You know what I mean? Secondly, can we finally put to sleep the whole it's Errol's fault? It's Errol's fault the fight didn't happen. It's Errol's fault that Errol was so scared. Can we finally put that to sleep? Because this is coming out of his mouth that he believed Bob is the reason why the fight didn't happen. So can we put the Errol was scared stuff to sleep too? You know, it's a lot that came out of this lawsuit. But like I said, at the end of the day, I believe that through it all, the next time he step in the ring, regardless of who it is, he can fight a janitor right now, and there's gonna be a bunch of people looking at the fight. And hopefully he stays in line. It's Bud 41, 50-50 split. They can work around that. I'm not gonna put that on Bud. They can work around that. You know what I'm saying? Because now that he's a free agent, now he just comes. He comes to that situation with Errol Spence and say, name your price. Also, another topic that's out there while we talking about this lawsuit. Everybody in here right now. Later on this year, Errol Spence fights Terrence Crawford for the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. Is the winner of that fight the face of boxing? 2022 is going to be Bud's most interesting year of his career. If he can secure a Spencer Ugas fight, he will be vindicated. he got to win the fight. he got to win it. He not only he I'm pretty sure he's going to get the winner of the Ugas Spence fight. You know, depending on what he does in the meantime, or who he decides to fight in the meantime, or if he just sit there and wait for the winner. But he got to win that fight. He got to win that fight. And that's another thing he got to keep in his mind, that if he, you know, whatever he does, when he does get in the ring with whoever win that fight, he's going to have to be on his A game, because all eyes are going to be on him. All eyes are going to be on him. Like I said, man, it caught me off guard. I did not see this coming. The last thing I would have thought that I would see something of this nature, or that he would go this route. But like I said, I do believe, like I said again, I don't believe that Bud Crawford is one of those guys that he believes what he says. He really, truly, in his heart believes that this is the situation. There are some things that support what he's saying, but there's too many things that's going to go against what he says to try to prove it in the court of law. But there's a lot of things that says what he's saying is factual. But like I said, he's not going to be able to pull it off, because, like I said, you're talking about somebody who's been around this sport for almost 70 years, and he's worked with countless, you know, different people from different races and different walks. And you got some former fighters that he worked with, like George Foreman, that's vouching for him now. You know what I'm saying? So that alone is going to be hard for Bud to win. But like I said, he's going to, like James just said, this is going to be his biggest year. He's a free agent. He just made a move that got him clearly in the public eye. And he's going against one of the biggest promoters in the world. You know what I mean? And he's talking about fighting maybe a generational fight at the end of this year. So like I said, he's really put some things up. Bud is the best at 147. That actually makes it more difficult to get the fight. I don't believe that at all. I think what he just did made it super easy to get the fight. Wait, what did Foreman say? No, Foreman just basically said that he stands on, you know, his belief that Bob Arum is a fair guy, and that Bob Arum would do his best for his fighters and XYZ. I mean, you know, that's somebody George Foreman been around for 50 years. So, I mean, you know, so I get it. I just wish George would have stayed out of it. But I mean, that's fine. I mean, that's how George feel. That's how George feel. I don't think the fight will be difficult to make. I think whoever wins the fight between Ugas and Spence is going to be chopping at the bit to get that fight now, because now it's everything you needed to be. You know what I mean? It's everything you need to be. It's for all the marbles. See, a lot of people looked at that fight. Then you got to ask your Bud fans, because I see they was all complaining. Top ranked build stars, period. But to become a superstar, you have to leave them. That seems to be a narrative too. You know, a lot of people got to look at this situation as the whole thing. Because, like, did you really want Bud to fight Spence fresh off a car accident? And did you really want him to come back from surgery from a detached retina and fight Bud straight off that? And he ain't been in the ring in over a year and some change. Is that the fight you really wanted? Or do you want him to fight somebody like Ugas, get that W? Now you him and Bud are fighting for undisputed, and it's clear that he's healthy. Is that what you really want? See, I know y'all eager for this guy, but if you was a businessman, let me just ask y'all this: and if you was a businessman, if you're running a business, right? On my side of the street, I got 3 or 4 belts, right? I got this guy over here who been working hard. Ugas has been working his butt off to get these fights. He put the work in. Don't shortchange him. Don't shortchange him. Ugas been putting in work. We get it. You was a powerful pound superstar, came up from multiple divisions, came up from 140. You've been doing your thing at 147. But Ugas been putting in work up here at 147. And you know, he fought Omar Figueroa. He fought Shawn Porter. He fought Manny Pacquiao. He put the work in. It's not like Ugas didn't earn the fight. You know what I'm saying? Everybody like, oh my God. No, he earned the fight. He put the work in. So if you was a businessman, right? I got 2 fighters over here. One coming off surgery, and this one right who been working his butt off to try to get these fights. So I'm not gonna reward them to reward somebody that ain't even part of my roster. That doesn't even make business sense. I'm just being honest. That don't even make business sense. And just think about this, y'all. Think about this. Now, James, this is a nugget. Watch this, James. Ugas was part of Top Rank. Ugas was part of Top Rank. And he lost to Amir Iman, and Top Rank dropped him. Yes, Ugas was part of Top Rank. Yes, he was. Udonis Ugas was on the roster for Top Rank. And now look at this. Now think about this. This is probably something else that's in Terrence Crawford's mind. Think about this. Udonis Ugas gets dropped from Top Rank, goes over there and gets every fight that Terrence Crawford been asking for. Manny, Errol, Shawn, all the fights that you've been asking for, he got. Yeah. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. I know a lot of Crawford fans, y'all don't want to hear it. But them facts. Them is the facts. That's 100. That is 100 right there. Yeah. Udonis Ugas was part of Top Rank. Got dropped from Top Rank. They cut him loose. They basically said, man, you know, good luck with your career. That man went over and see a lot of people, because a lot of people was complaining how this story came out, was a lot of people was like saying, you know, woo. No, come on, James. You know, I didn't say you said nothing negative about Ugas. I'm talking about, you know, because see, before I come on here, I go to Twitter, I go to YouTube, I go to Instagram. So I take what everybody's saying. And so the consensus is, you know, it's a lot of people on these other sites that's trying to make it look like Ugas didn't actually earn his opportunity to be here. But my point was, for a lot of people, you know, that's like they trying to avoid Terrence. I do not believe that. I believe whoever wins that fight is going to fight that man for undisputed. Which 9 times out of 10 going to be Errol Spence. Because now everything, but ask me this question though, James. I need you to answer this question. I want to see you answer this question. Is the winner of that fight between Errol and Terrence for the undisputed welterweight championship of the world, are they the face of boxing? Well, you know what I mean? That's another debate we was having. But like I said though, yeah, Ugas was part of Top Rank, got kicked off Top Rank, and he got all the fights that Terrence Crawford was begging for. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Jay didn't hesitate with that. My man. I knew we were going to get along. Okay. So what else y'all think about all this, man, while we up in here, man? I had to touch this topic, man. I mean, like I said, all night long, the phone was just going off. I was like, what is the world is going on? You know what I mean? I heard about the lawsuit, but I didn't think it was going to catch fire like that. But yeah, man, it dominated all the topics. Like people, like he said, my man said, people didn't even care about the Bulls playing the Bulls playing the Nets. People didn't even care about the NFL playoffs. Bud Crawford was the #1 trending topic on Twitter last night. So, like I said, he's definitely put himself in a different space. So again, everything's gonna work out, y'all. Everything's gonna work out. He's not gonna win that lawsuit. He's not gonna win a lawsuit, but his name will be big. And the winner. But let me ask you something. Should Bud fight somebody in the meantime? I do not believe he's going up to 154 to fight the winner, Castaño and Jamel Charlo. I don't believe that for 1 second. I do not believe that 1 second. I would personally. Whoa! I think he wins by KO versus Spencer Ugas. I don't think he has a future career as a lawyer. Well, like I said, he's going to lose his first case. I'm gonna say this again. Nobody at 147 knocks out Errol Spence. I stand 10 toes down on that. I also was on record that saying that fight happens this year, and I stand on that. That fight happens this year. But no, he's not knocking out Errol Spence. The styles, their styles, you look at the two styles of the two fighters, his style doesn't put the way he fights, and he's a dog. Don't get it wrong. He's a dog. He's everything y'all want him to be. His style does not put him in a position to really go for a knockout against Errol Spence, because the things the looks he normally get from all the other fighters that he's been fighting, you're not gonna get that from Errol Spence. Errol Spence does not. Oh, Hey, Bud can beat him. Doubt if he stops Spence. Okay. Hey, James, you know, that's it. That's the thing about this. We got receipts. We got receipts now. Whenever we say something now, we can always come back to the live. It's all recorded. You know what I mean? So yeah, we got receipts. But I'm not. If Bud beats him, not gonna be shocked. If he was to stop Spence, I'd be stunned. I mean, I'm throwing my plate on the floor, everything I'm drinking going on the floor. I just can't believe it. No, I can't see it. It'll be a battle of wills. It's going to be a battle of wills and skills. No, that ain't true. That ain't true. I can show you receipts where I picked him to stop Porter. And the reason why I picked him to stop Porter is, like I said, styles. Porter is the type of guy who likes to lunge a lot. Porter's the type of guy that leaves himself open a lot. So I could see Bud giving him angles. Do I think Spence can stop Bud? Let's be clear. Both of them can stop each other if it came to that. Both of them can stop each other. But what I'm saying is, I don't see Bud committing himself. Because see, like, to knock out, let me just bring it down. To knock out Errol Spence, he has to commit himself to that be tonight. My agenda is to, okay, Shawn lunging in, throwing wild punches from different type of angles. Oh, you ain't got to let me off the hook. I'm with it. I'm with it. Shawn lunging in, you know, throwing overhands and this, that, and the third, and lunging and being super aggressive, trying to, you know, close the gap between and him giving Shawn angles and catching them. That's different from somebody who comes in dressed down with defense, everything off the jab. That's what you're gonna see with Errol Spence. Errol Spence is composed. You've never seen Errol Spence in a fight where he's not composed at all times. Even when he was doing the fight with Shawn, but he was going toe to toe, he stayed composed. You know what I'm saying? I think Spence can stop Bud before Bud can stop Spence. Bud's been hurt by smaller fighters and dropped, but still hasn't fought a welterweight with power yet. He's fought welterweight with power. I'm not gonna do that, Troy. He's fought welterweights with power. He's battle tested. He's battle tested. See, the thing is, but I'm glad you made that point though, because even in those fights, right, he was in the ring with guys who he thought he could get away with fighting that way. You know what I mean? Like, he was extra aggressive with the Mean Machine. He was extra aggressive with some of these mother fighters. He's not going to commit yourself to try to knock out Errol Spence. That means you got to come in the Errol Spence range. So you fully aware that you're in range to walk into a counter or something you can't see. And that way, if trying to knock Errol Spence out might get you knocked out. You know what I'm saying? So are you really going to take that chance, or you going to try to, you know, see if you can work your way in? Now, I believe later in the fight, if he's really down on the cards, like they told him he was down against Shawn, he might try to get the knockout. Something like that might happen. But throughout the most of the fight, it's going to be a chess match. It's gonna be a chess match. It's gonna be some, you know, some finding out. Oh, the Green Machine hasn't KO'd the top welterweight. You mean the Mean Machine? Yeah, but like I said, he was real aggressive against the Mean Machine. Like, he went after him like, you know what I mean? He went after him like nobody's business. He came and like I said, he shook it off and knocked the Mean Machine out. That's not a bad win. That ain't a bad win. You know what I mean? That's not a bad win, but like I said, but that's who dropped him, the Mean Machine, and he got hurt in the lighter weights by, I think, Gamboa hurt him. Name the heavyweight he fought with power. You think okay. And all right, so let me ask you something, since I'm being challenged. Do you believe David Benavidez's brother got power? Do you believe Shawn Porter got power? See what I'm saying? Do you believe Kell Brook got power? See what I'm saying? That's the thing. Because to me, I don't see anybody at the welterweight division that's like a one-punch knockout person. That's two. Yeah. That's who we talking about. We talking about Kyle. That's the Mean Machine. Kyle Voss is the Mean Machine, Byron. What up with you? What up, Talib? What up, Troy? Benavidez does, but listen, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Y'all being rough on the man, man. You know what I mean? Y'all being rough on the man. All I'm saying is he didn't fight all pillow punches, is what I'm saying. He didn't fight all pillow punches. You know what I mean? He fought Jeff Horn, Benavidez, the Mean Machine. Oh, okay. What's up, man? How you been, though? What's up with you? What's up with you? You know what I mean? I'm gonna put the link in the comment section one more time for y'all. You know what I mean? We done touched this thing pretty nice today. He's not gonna win the lawsuit. No matter what, it's a good PR move because it'll make for people definitely gonna have their eyes on him now because he's definitely trending. The fight between him and Spence will happen at the end of the year. Yes, I'm picking Spence to be Ugas. The fight will happen at the end of the year, and the winner of that fight will be the face of boxing. They're gonna make a whole boatload of money. Everything gonna be good. Bud solid, Spence solid. They need to fight. I'm on record, y'all. Fry me if that fight don't happen in 2022. Now, barring nobody get in a car accident, barring nobody get hurt or catch COVID or anything like that, barring nothing like that, hold me to it. This fight will happen in 2022. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? They definitely gonna make it happen. You know what I mean? The fight definitely gonna happen. Everything gonna be good. But like I said, I did not see this coming. And like I said, I'm gonna tell you another thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Floyd put him up to this. I would not be surprised if this got Floyd Mayweather written all over. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be surprised if Floyd put that boy up to this to set this thing up to make all these bells and whistles go off, man. But it was just trending so bad. It was just so much comments going on, that I had to jump on it. You know what I mean? And like I say, Ennis had been making a statement. About this or what? Because I mean, we know Boots called out everybody, but Boots, they pretty much said they don't think they're going to get a shot at Bud before he gets in the ring with them guys. Only thing is, Crawford is going to win. River Arum is paying Arum a big check. Yeah, he is. Yeah, he is. But a couple people out there made a couple. A couple people made a couple good. They made stuff that made sense because I was kind of pushing for him to fight Boots in the meantime. But a lot of people say Boots is 24, and they say they're not sure Boots is ready for a fight with one of them right now. You know what I mean? So even if I think Bud should fight a fight, but some people say they think Bud should just wait for the winner of Errol and Ugas. You know what I mean? Don't even fight nobody. Just let them fight and just go ahead and sign for the winner. I mean, if that's what they want, you know what I mean? I don't want to hear nothing about who fight Thurman. Boots or Bud. Boots or Bud. You know what I mean? You want Boots or Bud to fight Thurman. You know what I mean? Oh, nah. Well, he got to fight Mario Barros. He fight Mario Barros. You know what I mean? And he should knock out Mario Barros. If Keith can't knock out Mario Barros, I want him up out of here. He got to go. It's nothing against Mario Barros, you know what I mean? But you just can't. You can't let a dude who fought. I get it. I know Tank hit hard, but he just fought a 135-pounder, or a dude that was coming up from 135, knock you out, and then you're gonna go up to fight a welterweight and get a win. Can we still call Thurman an active fighter? He hasn't won a fight in 3 years. He hadn't won a fight longer than that, but a fight of significance and longer than that. But yeah, he's coming back to fight Mario Barros. I think that's coming up soon. Also, not this Saturday, next Saturday, real good fight coming up with our guy, Gary Russell Jr. and Mark Menaseo. I may not pronounce his name right, but that's gonna be pretty tough fight. The guy's a big puncher. And he's definitely aggressive, so it's going to be a good test. But I do believe Gary will, experience and overall skill will get him through the night, get it done. You know what I mean? But it's definitely going to be a fight worth watching. Whenever a fight steps in the ring, big, small, no power, no skills, he has the opportunity to win the fight with one punch. That's what's up. But yeah, I just believe that I believe they doing. I think they're trying to get Keith Thurman back in the swing of things, giving him a nice fight, winnable fight against a guy like Barros in order to try to to get him back into the swing of things. But I think right after that, I really want to see Keith Thurman fight Boots. Because all them other dudes, Conor Ben, Virgil Ortiz, he's not getting no fights right now. He's not. You know, people keep saying, "Oh, he need to fight a bigger name before he calls out Bud and all that." But how can he if he can't get them? He can't get anybody. You know, Lipinets answered the bell, but who gonna get him next? Mikey Garcia ain't messing with that boy. Mikey Garcia ain't going over there. He might though. You know, he might never know. But like I said, y'all, if nothing else, I believe Terrence Crawford believes what he's saying. He's not going to win the lawsuit because, like I said, Bob's track record is long. He's a powerful man. That's not going to bring him down, but it is going to bring a lot of eyeballs and awareness because, see, now that you got this out there, now what happens with Shakur? You know what I mean? What happens with Shakur? What happens to all the other guys that's on the roster? What happens? You're like, what do you do from here? You know, T.O. just resigned. You know what I'm saying? So, like, what happens to them? You know, in this gauntlet of things. You know what I mean? So that's and I'm pretty sure, you know, right now Shakur being that he's in the contract, he can't really say much, but kind of sit on the sideline and like just watch to see how it plays out. But like I said, if nothing else, the PR move and the excitement that's now going to be following Terrence Crawford is going to be through the roof, bar none. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? But man, boxing DC and hey, look, hey Vern and all y'all in there, y'all make sure y'all give Mark a shout out, bro. Mark is working hard to make sure we get all the tea and all the info into the boxing the DC group, man. My man putting in that work, man. You know what I mean? So boxing DC, y'all still the best group on social media, by far. Because I done took field trips. I done been in many groups. I done been in the boxing spaces on Twitter. You know, I've been in the groups on Instagram. It's nothing like y'all, man. Glad to see y'all pop back in here, man. You know, to do y'all thing, man. But yeah, man. Yes. But to the had to drop. You're the best. Talk next time. Bud is the best. Hey, man, I'm glad you came in here, man. I needed your input, man. I was definitely down to hear what you thought about it, man. But again, man, appreciate you too, man. Till the next time, man. You know what I mean? What'd he say? Jay's Thurman is going to shock the world. Shock the world how, Talib? I need to know that answer to that question. How you going to shock the world? What are you going to shock the world with? What is Keith Thurman going to shock the world with? He hasn't done nothing in 5 years. What are they gonna do? Shock the world how? You need to get him out of here. Running around here calling people out, you ain't did nothing in 5 years. You know what I mean? Keith Thurman ain't done nothing in 5 years. But again, y'all, I'm gonna make sure I share this one. Might even do a watch party with this one, man. We had a lot of meat and potatoes in this one, man. You know what I mean? I don't talk down on other guys that do these things right now, man. Because like I said, I go watch everybody's stuff. You sit in the comments, sometimes even pop on the screen with some of the other shows right there. But a lot of them say a lot of stuff that I'm like, what? So till the next time, meantime, between time, be back next Monday, 3 p.m. sharp. As usual on Let's Talk Sports, y'all, man. Boxing talks every Monday at 3 p.m., man. Till the next time, man. Y'all be blessed, man. Oh, my goodness. Hold on. Hold on. Wait a minute. What's up, man? What's up, man? Basement boxing talks. What we talking about, man? Come on, man. All right.
You can't hear me?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. What's good?
You know what we talking about? We talking about the Bud lawsuit. You know, we don't went knee deep into it right now. Just give me your thoughts on it, on everything right now. Let's run it. Oh man, you froze. Come on, brother. I need this.
Let me go upstairs.
Can you hear me? For those, as we get the technical difficulties together, for those tapping in, man, this is my man Basement Boxing Talks. His show is every Saturday, 2 p.m. You know, we got several other shows that's inside of this box of the DC group, man. So, like I said, man, it's all Can you ready? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, go ahead. What you think of the lawsuit?
I really don't know what's gonna come up out of this, bro. I don't think too much gonna come up out of it.
Well,
hey, these is Bud's truest feelings that he been holding in for years, bro. You feel me? I mean, if he felt like this, if you ain't just start feeling like this. So I'm this go back to this thing I've been saying for the last few years. If you felt like this, why did you sign with him 2 years ago? You ain't just start feeling like this right now. And like you said, I read the post that you put up on Instagram. Floyd said the same thing. Motherfucking Mikey Garcia said the same thing. Oscar De La Hoya said the same thing. All these guys say the same thing. You feel me? Now I don't know if it's racism. I don't know if it's maybe he just didn't shop you to. You know, I listened to an interview last night with Rick Glaciers.
You know how I hold on for a second. Everybody, y'all know how I feel about Rick Glazier. I actually put one of his tweets. I put one of his tweets in the Boxing the DC group this morning. Y'all know how I feel about Rick Glazier. But go ahead.
I respect it. I respect it. But when he was keeping the questions that was asked to him about why certain fights aren't getting made, and some of these fights, and he was saying, well, I guess would be his honest opinion. Some of the things made sense, bro.
Go ahead.
Some of the things made sense. Like he was saying, like for instance, he said that PBC is not going to shop for the Spence Crawford fight because he's trying to say they don't. For one, PBC don't want to disrespect him and lowball him, so they'd rather him come to them with an offer. So he was breaking down things. He said this is what he thinks. He thinks the PBC set it up for this. Thurman versus Barros. The winner of that will fight the winner of Errol and Ugas. And when he was saying, this is what he said. I'm not saying it's true. But this is what he said. And so when you think about it, some of the things that he was saying, like how Top Rank want to keep every company want to keep their fighters. PBC lost a lot of champions. They did. They lost a lot of belts, bro.
Who?
Well, I don't know how the WBC belt no more. What belts do PBC really have? What belts PBC got?
They still got 147 on lock. They still got 154 on lock.
Okay. They got who?
154. They fight for undisputed 154 in a month.
Okay. Listen. So listen to this. If we take Errol Spence, if we take Charlo, and we take away Tank, we take away Tank, and Tank only he got the regular titles. Them titles, come on, and then WBA about to get rid of them come the end of this year.
You got Gary Russell fighting next week.
Oh, listen, okay. Oh man, we got Gary Russell fighting. True that too. So listen to this. Okay, so Gary
Leo
Russell
Santa Cruz.
got one belt, the WBC.
Leo Santa Cruz, he still got belts.
Okay, listen. The point that was being made was this. Like Floyd said, PBC want to make in-house fights. They got too many in-house fighters to go outside of the thing. I just think, man, some of these fights we might not really get to see, bro.
Listen. Okay, this is like what Terrence Crawford is doing is going to break down a couple walls too, right? So here's the thing. Here's what Floyd's saying, and here's what a lot of people saying without it getting too muddy. What they basically saying is this, man. Until y'all want to come to the table correctly, because see, what happens is a lot of these other networks, y'all want to fight us at your leisure. See what I'm saying? You want to fight us when it's convenient for you. You know what I mean? When it makes sense for you. You know what I mean? And we're not gonna play that game. We're not gonna play that game. You come to the table with us, respect what we're doing, respect what we got going on, bring the right offer to the table. You can fight us anytime you want to, but y'all want to play that same little shenanigan. Like for instance, Wilder and AJ should have been happening, right? You still there?
I'm still here. Give me 1 second.
All right. You know what I mean? Wilder AJ should have happened. That man first came to the table. We offered that man $13 million for an undisputed heavyweight championship of the world at a sold-out Wembley Stadium. Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. So then he held. Wilder was like, nah, that ain't enough money. Come back. I'm gonna offer you $15 million flat fee. Nothing. Come on, man. Everybody know that's bogus. So they come back and say, look, man, the fight worth at least 100 mil, this, that, and the third. So we're going to offer Joshua $50 million. We're going to offer Joshua 50 mil. You know what I mean? Plus pay-per-view. They come back and say, we need y'all to show us proof of funds. See what I'm saying? Nah, man. Nah. I don't blame them for some of the stuff that's going on. These guys over there, listen, they all try to come at this guy sideways and try not to give this man credit for being in the business. Every time you turn around, they making videos. Oh, PBC going broke. PBC ain't got no money. That's why they doing these pay-per-views and this, that, and the third. Y'all don't even know if that's Fox doing that. You know what I mean? You don't know if that's the manager that's working for that particular fighter or their team doing that. You know what I mean? He just signing off on it. This is what y'all want to do. Go do it. You know what I mean? It's a lot of other stuff that's going on. So, man, like I said, the Rick Glazers of the world and all that, man, I don't buy into them. I just look at him, he's somebody that got an agenda. I don't buy into them. You know what I mean? You got to show me something factual. You know what I mean? Something tangible to go off. That knee jerk, what you want it to be, how you wish it was, that don't make sense. That ain't gonna get it done. You know? What up, basement? We ready to shut this thing down. You know what I mean? But what y'all think about all that, man? What you think of the lawsuit? What you think about what they're saying out there now about now PBC ain't got no champions? Come on, bro. They about to have 2 undisputed fights this year. They just had one fight against Canelo for undisputed. You know what I mean? We still got Benavidez, still got Charlo. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They ain't got nothing that 175. Nothing. And you know, Wilder, who knows what Wilder may do when he come back. You know, all depends on what happened with Fury or Usyk. You know what I mean? But basement, Stay still, stay locked, stay locked, stay there. I'm in this jump, but stay backstage. You know, we chop it up, man. We'll go ahead and lock this thing down. Till the next time, y'all, man. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. Catch you on Let's Talk Sports, Monday, 3 p.m. every Monday. Also, my man, Basement Boxer Talks, he will be live every Saturday at 2 p.m. as well. Appreciate y'all for tapping in, man. As always, man. Be blessed.